Hello, sports fans. It's me, Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke, and it is time for another pick video for the NFL Week 10. And if you've been following along, you know that last week I was a not all that great 8-6. And that puts me on the year at 80-55, which is a .593 win percentage. And if you know anything about math, I went from a .595 to a .593, and certainly I am not a math pro. But I will be falling in weeks that I don't do as well. I will be falling slower and rising slower because I'm accumulating a lot of games picked. So anyway, I went from .593 to .595. I needed the 8-6, needed it badly, and I was 7-6 going into the Dallas game. And if you know anything about Dallas, if you're a Dallas fan, if you're a football fan that follows Dallas, maybe you're a fan of somebody in the NFL, the NFC least, I don't know. But if you follow Dallas, you know that it's bad policy to have to depend on the Dallas Cowboys to win a game for you. And that was touch and go. It was shaky. So it was, but they came through. They did come through and get me my 8-6. But there was a ton of upsets last week. I mean, the Patriots losing to the Ravens, and the Packers losing to the Chargers. Come on. So yeah, I mean it was just a really bad week, probably for anybody that tried to pick the games, because let me tell you, there were some upsets there, and I mean there was only one game I was proud of that I picked that I got right, and that was the Broncos beating the Browns. I think the Broncos beat the Browns, and I picked the Broncos to win that game. So that helped. But anyway, yeah, 8-6, and I'm 80-55 on the year. And so with that in mind, let's get into the picks. Thursday, you've got the Raiders and the Chargers. And the Raiders are at home in this one. I am definitely going with the Raiders. Got to take the Raiders, because even though it was impressive that San Diego somehow beat the Green Bay Packers, they're not going to win that game. They shouldn't win that game. Now, the next game I got on tap for you is the Lions and the Bears. The Bears, but no, it's going to be the Lions. And believe me, I don't say that with 180% confidence. I mean, the Lions have been inconsistent and problematic themselves in games that I tried to pick that they were involved in. But until Trubisky learns how to play quarterback, which I thought he had mastered last year, but apparently he did not. Until that happens, it's going to be a long season, I think, for the Bears the rest of the way, and I expect that to happen next week as well. So let's take the Lions to beat the Bears in that game. The next one I got is the Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. And we're definitely going to go with the Ravens here. They just beat look at that Raven. Just take the Ravens. They just beat the Patriots, and let's admit it, the Bengals have beaten nobody. So I'm going with the Ravens over the Bengals next week. And that brings us to the Bills over the Browns. You got the Bills. The Browns are at home. So I think the Bills are going to go on the road in Cleveland and beat the Browns. And I'm not 180% confident in that pick either, because the the Browns might be a dumpster fire. I don't think the Bills are as good as their record shows so far. They're 6-2 on the year. I don't really think they're a 6-2 team. They had more trouble with Washington last week than they really should have for a 6-2 team. You saw the final score. You probably thought, yeah, the Bills manhandled Washington, but no, the score was not really reflective of the actual game if you sat and watched it. So, but, don't let me throw you off course here. Still pick the Bills in that game. I'm going with the Bills. So now we've got the Packers against the Panthers. And I'm definitely going to take the Packers in this game at home. It's going to be in Green Bay. And the Packers, although they had a very depressing and unexpected loss to the Chargers last week, that I don't expect to happen again. Well, to another, they're not going to play the Chargers again. But I don't expect them to lose to a team that's that inferior to them, and I think the Panthers probably fall into that category. The next one we've got is the Saints and the Falcons. You got the Saints at home. Definitely take the Saints at home. Breeze is back. He's back and bigger than life. And the the Falcons, whatever they're doing, they're not doing it very well at all. So, yeah, go with the Saints there. Am I telling you something you don't know? So here we go with the next game on the list is the Buccaneers, and they're at home, and they're playing the Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Bucs. I'm going with the big Bucs. So they're the home team, and I think they're better than the Cardinals anyway. The Cardinals are a young team that still has quite a ways to go. The next one we have is the Chiefs over the Titans. The game is in Tennessee, but I am still going to go with the Chiefs. Take the Chiefs over the Titans. And yes, I am well aware, the sportsman is well aware that Mahomes is out, but I think that Kansas City is still a better team than the Titans. Even without Mahomes, they've got Matt Moore, and Matt Moore is a fine quarterback. And, he almost won for them last week. I think they did lose last week. So, he almost won for them. So, I'm going to do that. So, now the next one is, in this game, I'm going with the Colts at home over the Dolphins. Take the Colts, and yes, again, the sportsman is well aware that Brissett is not going to be playing, or probably isn't going to be playing, but they're still a better team than the Dolphins. They are. The next one we have is the Rams and the Steelers. The game is in Pittsburgh, but I'm still going with the Rams. I don't know how really confident I am about that, but for the time being, I'm going to say take the Rams to beat the Steelers, even in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is still not the Pittsburgh of old. The next one we have is the Cowboys at home playing the Vikings. I'm going with the Cowboys. Now, before, I was thinking of going with the Vikings because, as I mentioned before, the Cowboys are not a team you want to hang your hat on. But the Vikings, the Vikings aren't either. And the Cowboys are at home. They're in Dallas. This game is in Dallas. And also Kirk Cousins seems to have trouble with good teams. So I'm going to go with Dallas, even though it's questionable if you can really put them in the category of a good team. So now the next one I have is the 49ers and the Seahawks. And this one, the 49ers are at home. This will be in San Francisco. I am still going to go with the 49ers. They're undefeated. And really, the Seahawks have a penchant for playing down to their competition and having to come back late in games to beat other teams that they should have been manhandling the entire game. And if you play like that against an undefeated 49ers team, there's going to be no coming back. And now the last one I'm going to go over is the Giants and the Jets. And in this one, let's face it, both teams are home. There is no visiting team in this one, but I'm going with the Giants at semi-home over the Jets, who at semi-home, because the Jets just lost to the Dolphins. I would be really remiss to be picking a team to win some week when they just got done losing to the Dolphins. So basically, I'm not going to do that. I mean, that's really what the so is on that. Now, the byes this week are by the Eagles, the Patriots, the Redskins, the Broncos, the Jaguars, and the Texans. That's a lot. It's like half the NFL is sitting out next week. And also, you know, my usual locks, like the Patriots, although they weren't last week when they lost to Baltimore, but I think that was kind of an aberration. That may still be the only game they lose all week. But and the Redskins, who you can always depend on to lose. And they did last week to the Bills. So, you know, you take a couple of locks out of there like those guys, and who knows? Who knows what's going to happen next week? The sportsman knows. Okay, really, maybe I don't. But those are my picks. What do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. As usual, this is my contact information. So if you want to look me up, you can contact me on Twitter. You can contact me on Instagram. And you can also contact me at my email, which one viewer did do. Perfectly fine with that. I have no problem with it. But leaving a comment is appreciated. Ring the bell if you want to be notified when I have a new video come out. And also definitely subscribe. And even there's a share button. You can share the video with other people that you want to see the picks. And, you know, we'll get those picks out there and we'll see what happens starting on Thursday night. But for right now, it's Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke, signing off.